Good morning, social media people. I don't know. Anyway, I thought today we would talk to my dad, Harlan Berk, about his new second edition of the 100 Greatest Ancient Coins. And during this talk on the book, if any of you want to order a signed copy, just click the link that I posted in this post. Okay, so here we are. So, hey, Dad, what can you tell us about your new book?
Well, there's quite a few new additions. We put in a left-facing portrait of Alexander, and since the tomb of Philip II was found, we know that the tetradrachms of Alexander bear his real portrait. We've replaced one rare coin with a whole series on the signed coins of Syracuse, listing the amount of dies that were used and the artists that did them. We also replaced 24 plates with better coins or different coins or adding other coins. And we also have a section in the book on how to collect ancient coins, traps, good ideas and bad. We've put in a section on text, books that people can read. Some are general books, some are specific books. We put in my favorite thing, financial meters, that shows you what was going on when the prices were done, what was gold, silver, the pound, the stock market, interest rates.
Which is what you did in your Byzantine book, correct?
Right, in 1985.
Right.
Here's one on grading coins with pictures, and here's several pages on...
Yeah, so let's focus on that really quick. So it goes from FDC, Florida coin.
Which is the perfect die, perfect strike in every way.
Then we go to uncirculated.
Right, which means nowhere.
Then about circulated.
AU, which means a little wear.
And EF.
Extremely fine means that the coin has some wear, but virtually everything's there. Very fine means that most details are there, but the high points of the detail are gone. Fine means that still most of the coin is there, but more of the detail is gone. Very good means that, yeah, you can still see it, but a lot of the details are gone. And good is just kind of an outline with maybe some detail, high point details, but not much. And then we're also showing denominations, not everything, but key denominations that you'll find. And the plates are taken from coins that have been in the market, and so there's a chance that you can own a coin that's used to describe the different denominations. And then we go into all the various things that collectors should know about collecting coins. And we've got a new front little cover coin, which is pretty good, if I can find the page. It's a portrait of Aelius, probably one of the most handsome men ever on a coin, and the die engraver must have seen him because there's some little squints in back of his eye that show up on the die.
And if people haven't seen the first edition, explain how the book works.
Well, originally, Whitman wanted to do it so that the first coin, the highest voted coin, would be first, and second would be the second highest voted coin, but not in chronological order. And I told them it should be that, but I lost until they called me and asked me a question about Alexander. I said, well, if you read about Philip, then you wouldn't ask me the question about Alexander. So they actually gave in, and now the book starts out with the first coins ever in 650 BC, if I can find the page. There's a lot of extra things here. Starts out with this.
And it has this chart at the bottom, which shows where you are chronologically.
Right, and then it travels through coinage.
So even though this is, sort of at the beginning still, it's the number 9th coin.
Right.
On the 100 greatest.
And this shows the first Greek and first silver and gold coins ever minted. And this is good enough that everyone uses this as a standard reference. They use Berk numbers.
Yeah, well, how long did it take? It took, what, a decade to put this together?
About that. And in one case, in one of the articles I wrote about it, I said, well, this small denomination must exist. It's this little silver thing. And finally, Christie's called me up and they said, we're sending you, we're putting up for auction the coin that you said existed but you couldn't find. You can buy it. So I paid $3,000 for the coin that I knew had to be, because they had light and weight in the entire series, lightweight and heavyweight. And one of the lightweights I hadn't found, but I knew it had to exist. And then we go through the life of Greek coins, then into some of the very artistic pieces, like the decadrams of Syracuse, and some of the more beautiful coins. Here's a portrait of Philip as Zeus, which we know now is an actual portrait. And things like Corinth, which are common coins, but are very important because they dominated the circulation of money. A portrait of Hannibal, a portrait of Augustus. There's a portrait of Mark Antony and his girlfriend, Cleopatra. So we get into the Roman coins. Here's one of Nero showing the port of Ostia. And here's one of the first of year 5 of the first Jewish revolt. And here's one that shows the Colosseum, which was actually built with money that was taken from the temple in Israel, in Judea, excuse me. And then we go through the entire Roman series. This is the Millennium of Rome, and he was bold enough to put a fat hippo on the back of his wife's coin. And this is from the 1,000 Years of Rome. And we go through here. Here's a phallus of Justinian, along with a solidus of the Justinian. This was from the Rome Mint. And the first 2 portraits of Christ, done by the son of Constantine IV. In his first reign, he got kicked out and he came back. In his second reign, he did another portrait of Christ.
Justinian II.
Right. And then the portrait of Christ wasn't used for another 300 years on coins. And here's an anonymous phallus that shows the portraits of Christ. And then here is the last Roman coin. And originally we had this in there, and this was actually a coronation issue. But during the siege of Constantinople in 1453, he lost his cannon maker. He also lost his die cutter. And so they always knew that Christ was going to be on the coins, but they didn't know who the emperor would be. And this horrible, terrible thing is the best dies that could be used, die cutters they had. And believe it or not, this is the last coin of the Roman Empire, and there's only about 30 of them in existence. So the book now, and along with the first edition, shows the trip of the Western world from 650 BC to 1453 AD. And you can see that the changes in the coins show the change in culture in the Western world.
Very cool. All right, thank you. So if anybody wants to order the book, just go ahead and click the link on the post. Also, don't forget about the Great American Coin Hunt that's happening in April, where we're going to be dropping up to 1 million coins into circulation here in the United States. And also want to make a shout out to Rob Obereth and Shanna Schmidt, who are both running for the governor for A&A. So make sure you get your votes in for them. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.